So continuing to the same, aspect, banks obviously and financial services player as a whole, they obviously are running a lot of applications which are legacy for them. And Fawad, if I ask this question from you, so as somebody who is helping the banks to in this journey to transform into the modernized infrastructures, what kind of support and help can be provided? Because the migration of these legacy applications or the data is a complex task. It's not easy, and shifting this whole journey from an in-house, on-premises deployment model to a cloud-based environment is a complex project for them. So how do you make it easier for the banks, through your services?
Yeah, so I'll start with initially the transition of the banking that has been in the last few decades. It used to be analog, over the counter, and then we shifted on towards the e-banking part. Since Sir said that since 2017 the regulations came in and the people started working on online banking and things like that. You see, so there was a shift of paradigm of customers during that time. And that escalated and triggered the requirement of more robust and elastic infrastructure. See, and that has a limit. Every banking sector has a limit to procure as a capex. And now we are seeing that the transaction and the volume, the way of working is changing from over-the-counter customers to transaction per second. So all over the architecture is changing. And in this regard, the enableization, there is a gap of skill set in the country that is being promoted and gradually being brought up. So at NdcTech, what we observed, being the most 22 years old player in this in this country, so what we observed that we need to handhold our customers, and we need to make sure that they are transformed carefully and properly from the native part to from the legacy part to the cloud native and modern architecture. So we have to make sure that the blueprints are rightly prepared, the transparency to the customer is there, the in-depth knowledge has been transferred, and there's a lot required from the industry to handhold the customer. And we give a special focus on that part. So yeah, and the future is all about the elastic infrastructure. And that can only be provided through IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. Because you cannot go expanding your hardware in billions of dollars. There's a limit to it. So obviously, as we see the growth of legacy banking to the transactional banking, which is the TPS mode, we see State Bank doing a very responsible role in there and bringing up the cloud part. We see lots of partners coming in, providing in the fintechs, EMIs, PSPs to support that. So the banks have all that support. Now is the layer that we are developing, and we have initiated a proper unit for that as an enterprise architecture and managed services, where we ensure that the customer is comfortably transformed from legacy to the new architecture. And obviously the architecture designs of legacy application is changing now. It's all cloud native. The security mechanisms are changing. When we talk about cloud native applications, you see demilitarized zones, security zones are being changed. They are being questioned by the risk management, audit management. So we have to make sure that the customer and the technology team has the right answers to address that to the regulators, to the audit people. So we have seen that we need to handhold the customer a lot. And we take that responsibility as a core service from NDC. That okay, if we are giving up any transformation, solution, application, we also provide them enough skill set and enough knowledge and enough education and enough awareness, and then the proper blueprints to satisfy all the regulators and things. So I guess that's where we see that all of our players who have been doing it, and we see a lot of growth. And positively talking about it, there was a time that we used to see our ancestors, grandfathers, parents going on to the bank. And millennials and Generation Z, you would hardly see people going to the branch. So that's already there. And State Bank has sensed it, observed it, and they are growing that. But yes, we have to play a vital role in hand-holding the customer, awareing them about the right technology, which is first part, security, second part, elasticity of hardware, how it will be met. If you have a peak hour time, you cannot just keep on growing your hardware, putting in the capex, because after all, it's all the public money that's being worked upon. So that's where the requirement of cloud is coming up. So from IaaS, we can see now there's a requirement of PaaS, platform as a service. Third proportion would be software as a service. So this is where we are heading towards, and it's already there. So more than challenges, I think we should work on the growth and be happy about it, that yes, it's coming up now. So that's my point of view from it.